Flying Monkeys Wargaming, where Wargaming was easy, it would be your mom. This is your main host, Bam, here. And normally do the podcast, we talk about Warhammer 40k. Today I was going to talk about something else. So I do, sometimes suffer a little bit of 40k burnout, which I think I've been doing and complaining way too much about. But on the upside, sometimes it's time to find another game. And I want to talk to you guys today about Crisis Protocol. So I got 5 things that just I think are cool about Crisis Protocol. If I throw them out there, you might check it out, see if it's for you, see if it's not for you. It might be a way to get a good palate cleanser and rededicate yourself to playing some Warhammer 40k. If you're not, you might just pick up a game that becomes your main game along the way. So without further ado, I shall talk about it. But one of the things I liked about this, if you look here, I got the starter box up here, and it's cheap to get into. Like, that starter box is $100. Most gaming stores will give you 10% off at the least, so you're talking maybe $90, and you get all the miniatures you see there. And the thing that I think was probably not sold well enough on the initial box set was that you don't just get like the miniatures, you get terrain. Like there's dumpsters, there's buildings, there's street posts. And that'll get into something else, I really like about the game, as far as, like, you can interact with the terrain. You can throw lampposts at people, you can throw cars, you can throw buildings, you can use your mind powers and do such a thing. So the box for $100, you pretty much get everything you need to play if you want to just play at that level or play at a casual level. You and your buddy can do like a 5 versus 5 thing, or if you get a buddy who gets a box between the two of you, you'll have quite a bit of terrain for a full table. Then you each will be able to, kind of pick and choose what you want to play with. So it's relatively cheap to start. And as far as expanding from there, most of the boxes, $35, $40, you get 2 characters in them, which my big point of reference is Warhammer 40k, and for those that are like, oh my god, that's expensive, for a chaplain, a chaplain in a box, you'll pay $40 from Games Workshop nowadays. And from Atomic Mass, you'll get basically, 2 character models, all the cards, all the widgets that go with it, and it's cheaper, for the most part, and you can expand out. So that goes to that was kind of my second point. So the first point was, I want to say it's really cheap to start. The second point is, like, everything's kind of in the box that you already need. And if you want to expand on it, it's not that expensive. So expanding on it, let's talk about that. Like, the factions aren't super strict. You basically have to have over 50% of your army be a certain faction to gain the faction bonus. So, if you have in your head some kind of narrative where, it's a good Red Skull from alternative universe, or, a bad Captain America from Earth 992 or something like that, you can put together a faction and play, however you want to within the main faction, and kind of mix and match your characters. So you're not really stuck with, if I decide I'm going to play X-Men, I can only have X-Men in my list. I could have Sabretooth in my list and, basically pretend, there's some kind of thing where Sabretooth had to join up with the X-Men because they're trying to free some Brotherhood member or something that had some secret to save everybody, blah, blah, blah. It's not important. But with that, it's not strict on factions, so you can kind of mix and match, you can have a lot of fun. It is a mission-based game, so for those that are used to playing 40k, where, the goal isn't necessarily to kill everybody, the goal sometimes is to hold an objective, take an objective, deny your opponent from scoring certain points or on their missions. It's really designed around that, which is really good. So the fourth point I had was it's amazing models. The sculpts are really good. Let me go find some. But, like, here's Doctor Strange and a lot of Brother Voodoo, the Ancient, and, like, those aren't normally my favorite characters in the comics, but, like, the models are so dope that it makes me want to play them. It makes me want to, like, have them in my list, have them in my roster, so to speak. And let's go. I'm jumping around, so you guys just have to bear with me about why I like this game. So the data that you need is on these cards. So each character has, like, its own specials, its own abilities, and it's all tracked on this card. Once you get beat up a certain amount, you flip the card over, and some things can change. It can get more powerful in some areas, and get less powerful in other areas. I got one right here. but this is Valkyrie's card. Like, that's a full health Valkyrie, and then you flip it over, and like there's a beat up Valkyrie, and they change as the game changes as well. So it's super cool. It's a cool way to do it, and everything you need to play that character's on the card. You don't need a second rule book. You don't need a codex. You just need the cards that come in the box with the character to play the character, which I dig. Here's the X-Men, like I talked about. The fourth point is super, super amazing models. Like, the models, in my opinion, are some of the best superhero models I've ever seen. You know, I used to think some of the HeroClix stuff looked pretty cool, and then I see these guys, and like, it just blows the HeroClix stuff out of the water. And I've seen some stuff come from Night Miniatures or Night Games, which is a DC properties, which are pretty good, but they're metal, they're finicky, they're small, and these are like a heroic scale in plastic, which I really like. They're easier to handle, they're less fragile, a little bit easier to paint. You can transport them without worrying so much. And so then the fifth point I had was like the amazing support. There's some great support for this game. This is Dormammu. He's coming out this week. Also, Blade and Moon Knight come out this week. They're actively working to rebalance the game with some characters that were released earlier versus some characters that were released mid, which it's cool to play a game where the company is communicating with their audience. And on top of communicating with their audience, they're actually working to make stuff balanced, and they're taking feedback. They're leaking info, not leaking, they're putting info out there so people know what's going on with the characters, with the game. And then they're hyping up new releases. You know, there's the Marvel Universe is rich. There's a ton of characters. There's a ton of alternative versions of characters. Like, you know, there's Iron Man. Then there's Iron Man and Hulkbuster armor. So you can have like these different versions of characters that they could still produce. It's already a rich universe. You know, they've got a very super cool IP, and on top of having the super cool IP, they've got, you know, the sky's the limit as far as what they can release for the game. I've been a fanboy, and I've pretty much bought or collected up damn near everything. So that's one of the problems you could fall into as far as a trap, is it's, you know, paying so cheap for each box that comes out. You want to almost snag all the new releases because you want to have the full library of the models. So this here is a picture of the terrain. Like I told you, when you get the box set, you know, you get the lamps, you get the street poles, you get the cars, you get the building, you get the dumpster. It's that terrain is in the starter box, and a lot of people weren't really hyped up on that or figured that out. They thought you just got the models. So you get some dope stuff in the starter. So there's the X-Men. That's my jam. I love the X-Men. My Wolverine's already painted pretty well. My Cyclops is painted pretty well. I need to get to work on my other stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing Colossus and Elena come out. They're gonna be instantly painted when I get them, because Colossus was one of my favorites growing up, along with Wolverine and Beast. So, but yeah, so let's go back through it, man. It's super cool game. I give it a chance. If someone else has it, ask if you can borrow theirs and play it, or have them show you to play it. It's more objective based in a lot of ways. You still get into scrums, you still get into the fights, but you have to play the mission if you want to win. It's, you know, 5 points I made where it's cheap to start. Everything you need to play is in the box. It's not super strict on factions. You can expand it any way you want to. The models are freaking amazing. And Atomic Mass Games is actively supporting the system and trying to keep it fresh, keep it balanced. So if you haven't picked up Marvel Crisis Protocol and you're wondering what it's all about, you should go give it a try. As a predominantly a Warhammer 40k player, looking at this as a skirmish game, you know, playing a mission, using strategy and tactics, I dig it a lot. So it's a lot of fun, and I will quit rambling about this game. But that's my take on Marvel Crisis Protocol. You should play it. You should try it.